So today I'll be doing a review on Kcorp versus Vitality, the most atrocious game of the split. And there is no offense to the players. I think they all know that it was disgusting. I'm sure they're looking at this game and thinking to themselves, wow, what the hell were we doing? So I don't think they're going to take any offense. Normally people do like a 45-minute review of this and they go over every single small detail, but I think it's kind of useless. I'm just going to keep it really short, go over some key points, and hopefully it will actually be useful and something that maybe the team can even watch and look to improve on. I will only be reviewing the Kcorp side because I don't have time to do both. So I will check that out and let's see what we can do. So already at this, I'm looking at one thing. So the first thing to identify is, do we have winning lanes? Yes. Rumble wins versus K'Sante, gets early push. We have Lilia versus Maokai, farms faster and probably wins in a skirmish as well. And then we also have Tristana versus Ahri. He should be able to get the push for the first 6 levels at least. Maybe once Ahri gets Lost Chapter, he'll be able to throw 2 Qs on the wave and clear it. But either way, Tristana should safely have the push. And then you also have Varus, one of the strongest AD carries, if not the strongest after all these AD carries are gone in the meta. So he should be able to get the push as well, paired up with Rel. So you have 3 winning lanes right now. How are you going to abuse that, is the question. So already at the top of my head, I'm thinking you can easily late invade topside if you want to look to pressure the enemy team and punish them for this heavily weak early game draft. You have Tristana, you have Lilia, and you have a Rumble. You can easily invade Raptors if you like. I mean, I assume that they're maybe a bit scared that Rakan might be there and they might predict that they might invade. The only reason I can see is that they want to path towards bot and play around this Varus and Rel. Another thing comes to rune choices. I think all the runes are completely fine. The only thing I'm questioning is the Fleet footwork. I think Fleet is a really good rune when you're in a disadvantageous matchup where you actually need sustain. But I think in this matchup that you're playing Tristana versus Ahri, you don't really need Fleet in actually to play the lane. And you will see out this game that there will barely be any sort of trading around mid lane, so I think it's just a waste of rune. I would have preferred having lethal tempo, which is super good versus 3 frontliners. You'll be able to actually stack it up quite nicely in team fights, and overall I think lethal tempo is just a much better rune, especially for team fights and later on in the game. Fleet is just more of a feel good rune, helps your laning phase. One of the most things I would look at early game is actually Cabo's placements on topside. I mean, right now he's going to be crashing 3 waves, a 3-wave stack. I understand that he wants to poke Photon a little bit, but I think it would actually be 10 times more useful if he actually just used his push to go scout where enemy jungler could be. He does have a ward, he could ward enemy Krugs, but I don't know how the comms are. Maybe they already told him that he started topside and he's pathing bot side. By the way, I think when you're playing Rumble, utilizing his prio and using it to move around the map would actually be a lot more useful than just trying to shoot 2-3 Es on this K'Sante. Because I don't think, realistically, your poke is going to do much. I don't think it's actually going to accomplish anything. So imagine like in this scenario, Rumble is actually moving into enemy jungle, tries to find the Maokai, he finds him, hey, red is up, okay, Maokai is pathing topside. You could potentially set up a dive on bot lane. You have mid prio, you could easily use the Tristana prio, move into bot, you don't even need to dive them. You can just force the Ahri TP and she'll be fucked from there on. And they're not utilizing all their prios and to the maximum extent. And Bo just doing a full clear. I'm assuming the only reason they don't go for a late invade in this game is because they're feeling the pressure and they're 0-4 and they don't want to flip anything. They just want to have a stable early game and try to just play consistently. They just don't want to make mistakes. They're not playing to win. They're playing to not make mistakes and fuck up. That's the way I see it, at least. I might be wrong, but I don't have their comp, so I have no idea and I don't have the insights. Okay, so this is the part where I feel that this ruined Kcorp's momentum completely. And this has been a reoccurring issue for Kcorp the entire split so far. And it's their lack of commitment to plays and their understanding of what they actually want to do. So in this play alone, maybe you look at it and you think like, oh, that's nice, we got Ahri ulti. But the biggest issue here for me is that Bo is calling right now that he wants to go for the crab. And Saken starts moving for it. And now they see Maokai, so they decide to turn on him. But at the same time, Upset and Targamas are trying to stop Karzin Hylissang to enter the fight, which they should do, right? But at this point, Targamas have decided to join his team with Bo and Saken in order to fight Ahri and Maokai. And this is kind of like on Upset. I don't know if you see it, but on the minimap, Rakan has to use W to get the Varus. But Varus dodges it. And now Upset is going to take a greedy pathing and he's going to end up losing his flash. But my biggest issue with this play is that they're so desync. Like, Kcorp is so desync. They don't know what they actually want to do. Like, are you going for the crab? Are you fighting them? Do you need Upset? Do you need Targamas? Like, these things should be communicated early on. Like, how many people do you need? Are you safe if we go back bot? Are you safe if we don't come? Or do you need us? And these things are like very apparent to me that they're not on the same page. So now Upset is going to lose Flash. And this might not seem like a big deal, right? Because Karzi is going to lose his Flash in return as well. But the problem now is that how does Upset play the game from this point onward? Like, they're never ever going to be able to get the push again on bot lane. There's a Rakan ultimate coming up, and there's a Maokai ultimate coming up. Sure, Upset has cleanse, but how the fuck does he play? Like, the Rakan will have flash, he can just flash ulti on him anytime they try to take prio on bot lane. And that guy is dead. And if they don't know where Maokai is, it's gonna be extremely hard. So from this point onward, they're just going to be forced to give the push for the rest of the laning phase, I would say, until at least Upset gets flash up again. So this is the second sequence, right? So Grubs is coming up in around 30 seconds, and Rumble is basing at this perfect timing, and Varus and Targamas are going to be able to get the push. They're going to crash the wave, and they're going to start rotating to mid. And I would say if this Rumble actually had ulti, this would be a perfect timing to just swap him into bot, and you guys play full for the Grubs. Because right now, Upset and Targamas can't really lane versus Karzi Hylissang, considering that Hylissang has flash, and he has ultimate, and Upset can't really step up and contest the prio. But instead, what they're going to do, they're going to go for the Grubs, but Hylissang is actually going to be the one that's first on it. Either way, it actually works out. You could actually keep Rumble top. If he had ulti, I think it was a good swap opportunity, but it's fine if they don't do it, right? So this is a play that KC is making. They're making intentionally. They're calling it, hey, we're going for the Grubs. So why the hell is Targamas the second person to arrive there? And it comes down to two things. Either that Bo doesn't actually go through mid lane first, or gets a prio before he actually goes to start it. But also the second thing here. So Bo is doing the Grubs right now. And he sees Hylissang and Maokai. Maybe he only sees Maokai right now. Like right now, Cabochard should be moving instantly into river if they're looking to fight this. I mean, Saken and Targamas are not that far away. They can easily win this fight, right? But you will see how long it takes for Cabo to even be aware that there is a fight. Like, he's still on top lane trying to push out the wave. But the wave, who gives a shit? Like, you're here, play with Bo. Like, right now, this is the target. You guys are playing for... You're playing for the Grubs. Start moving. If you're gonna fight this, like, it should never take like 6 seconds for top lane to start moving when they're on top of him. Like, in another world, he might just get one shot. I mean, obviously in this case, there's a fucking Maokai, he doesn't have a lot of damage, and there's a Rakan with him. Like, he's not gonna die, right? But it just shows to me how desynced they are as a team. Like, they're not on the same page of what they're doing. Like, why is the Rumble pushing out top lane before actually helping his laner, or helping his jungler take the Grubs? That should be the main priority right now. And it takes around, like, let's say from the second here, okay, 1, 2. So right now we see the Maokai, right? So now Bo is probably calling, hey, Maokai here. 10, 12. Cabsars are moving at 10, 18. 10, 18. That is 6 seconds too late. It's not a big deal, I know. Nothing happens. They fucking win it. But it's the principle that matters. Like, are you guys on the same page or are you not? Like, are you doing the same thing? And that is what I'm seeing continuously in all of these games, that there is no synergy between them. Like, either there is some communication issue or whatever you want to blame it on. There is a map awareness lacking. And here Cabasor loses his flash. I mean, because there was a pause, I didn't actually see what happens if he walked up. He just overheated, so he had to flash afterwards. And here we're gonna see it again, right? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Can someone explain this to me? Like, Saken is in base. He just got Kraken. He got his power spike. Why are we randomly fighting here? Like, bot lane cannot move. They know. They don't get any prio bot lane anymore. Ahri is first. Why are we starting this Drake? Why are we fighting here? And to me, again, that is an issue. And it just keeps on showing. Because already from here, it should be clear. Hey, Saken, okay, I'm basing. I have Kraken. After my base, I'll be really strong. It's fine if Bo wants to check the dragon if they're doing it. But he should be very much aware that the bot lane can move first and Ahri can move first. Now, luckily, Ahri doesn't have ulti, neither does Maokai. And this was right after Grubs. So I think he's relatively safe. But I just don't see the point of, like, doing it in the first place. Why not just wait for Ahri, wait for Saken? You probably win 2v2 mid jungle anyways, so you can just play through that lane. Because I think bot lane, realistically, you're probably not playing through that lane again. For a while at least, until first item. Like Upset has no mana, he's as useful as a potato right now. Just go mid instead, play through mid. So they're just gonna end up giving the Drake anyways. But it says they didn't have to give up the Drake if they actually just waited for Saken to get the push mid and just played through mid first and then move into river. So this is a reoccurring theme with this team. And now they're feeling bad because, hey, Saken is very strong and he wants to fight. They don't really want to give this up. But once again, Upset has no mana. And then we can go over this and we can look at the team fight mechanics because they all played disgusting. Like, it is, I cannot say it in a nice way. It was disgustingly performed, this team fight. And I will just show it, like, just for quick. But I wouldn't really review this. So Bo flashes over, he gets a nice steal on Drake. But look at that, Saken gets cancelled on his jump. He doesn't even flash it. So now the fight is already like, okay, what do we do? And now Upset is gonna walk in, he's gonna Q, and Upset is gonna flash ulti. A Xayah with flash and cleanse and ulti. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but what is this? And then they just die. But okay, it's fine, it happens. They all, like, I'm not trying to focus on it, but I'm just trying to make you aware that it was just mechanically played bad. And I'm sure like all the players are right now looking at themselves and they're cringing. They can't look themselves in the mirror. They probably are crying themselves to sleep as we speak. So I don't blame them. That's fine. But let's look how they play as a team instead. But for me, it's just these team decisions. They just seem so off. Like one guy is calling, let's do it. Another guy is calling, no, I don't want to. And the other guy is saying, no, let's go. And they just end up like doing two things at the same time. There's no like commitment to one call. I am not in their comms. I don't know how they are as a team. I have no idea. I'm just talking out of my ass. And I'm just assuming, right? Because that's all we can do. But this is how it looks like to me. It looks like they're having disagreements in the comms and they all have different ideas. And this is also another sequence. Like, already from the map opening, right? Rumble is basing. Okay. Rumble, I'm going bot. Okay. That's fine. What are we playing for? We're playing for the Herald. It's spawning in 20 seconds. That is what we're doing. So Rumble TP is bot. Clears the wave. I think this is fine. They hover bot because they don't know if they're actually going to be diving Rumble, so they just need to cover, right? That's perfect. They take one turn to hover bot, and then they're going to play topside. Saken should be able to get the prio versus this K'Sante that only has MR, so they can just play around the Saken. The Saken. I don't know. That sounds weird. But they're playing around Saken, right? But why are they still around the bot side? So Rel basing is good, right? Rel wants to get new wards so they can set up topside. Makes sense. And I'm sure that Bo here is calling that he wants to get the crab, but like, bro, who gives a shit about this crab? Like, go topside, start pressuring the top turret, start getting topside vision. You're playing for Herald that spawns in 10 seconds. Eventually, they do end up on topside, but Herald has been up for 10 seconds. That's already 10 seconds. They already could have possibly looked for pressure off the K'Sante, try to get the top turret. Maybe the K'Sante is too tanky to dive, who knows. But at least put some pressure. Like, their whole topside should be lit up right now. Like, lit up. It should be, like, Christmas lights all in their topside jungle. They should be seeing everything. And they should be getting the Herald as well while they're making this play. At least Cabo gets the wave, so it's not the end of the world, but it's just, the thing is, like, normally in these things don't matter that much, right? Like, okay, they didn't go topside at first, so whatever. But in LEC, these seconds are important and is the game changer sometimes. And that is like why I'm being so hard on it, right? But yeah, they end up actually getting the Herald and they get the top turret, but they could have done this around 20 seconds earlier if they actually pre-planned it. So this is going to be the third part or fourth, I don't know where I am, but this is going to be another part that we're going to review, right? So Saken is basing now and he doesn't have TP, neither does Cabo. And why, like, the thing I don't understand right now, I want you guys to look at Cabo Shard, what he's going to do for the next 2 minutes. And I'm just going to speed it up so you guys can see it. So first, he's going to take the bot wave, and then he's going to rotate to mid. There's no mid wave or any mid wave to contest, right? So the top wave is standing there, 50-50. And Dragon is up in 1 minute. Like, if you want to actually get the top wave, you should get it now. But I honestly do not know why he didn't base after being on bot lane. Like, you're half HP, I mean, 60%, just base, get your HP up, go into top if you want to clear that wave, get one prio, and then move into Drake. It's in 1 minute. Like, these things have to be pre-planned. Like, for me, I'm looking at this. Varus is in base. What are we doing around mid? Why are we mid? What are we achieving? Like right now. It's fine if he wants to take the wave. Maybe they were scared that Karzi could already be on the mid wave and they could threaten to take the mid turret, right? But Sakan has prio, he's moving into mid. Realistically, they're not contesting this mid wave. Because, first of all, it doesn't give them anything. Like, they might be able to get some control, right? And now, it's 50 seconds until Dragon, and now Cabo is gonna run all the way top to clear, I don't know how many minions that is, but that looks like 5 minions. And it takes the 5 minions, and they lose all control around Dragon. Like, for me, it's like you already have tempo around bot side. Like, Sakan is already pressuring the turret. Why aren't we just full sending on this Drake? Like, do you want this Drake that badly? Then just full send it. Like, you already messed up. Already from base, Rumble should have already been top pushing out the wave. Before the Dragon is around, I can't say how much it is, but I think it's 52 seconds, yeah. Before the Dragon is 52 seconds. Like, if he was already top and he cleared out the wave, he would already be here with the team and they would get full control at this point, while K'Sante is catching the top wave. But instead, he goes top, he clears 5 minions, and they lose all control for that. 5 minions. 5 minions. And then now he has to base. Because he didn't base since he was bot lane when he was 60% HP. And now he bases, and now K'Sante just goes top because he has TP. So it's like completely chilling for him. Now we take a look at this fight. So Hylissang is gonna go, they're gonna use ultis. Let me just slow this down. Okay. Like, what is your main goal right now? You wanted to get the Drake, right? Enemy team just blew Ahri ulti, Maokai ulti, the Xayah cleanse, they're about to blow it, and the Rakan ulti. They cannot fight anymore. Why are we throwing our Rumble ulti on top of them to get a kill, a potential kill on the useless Rakan when we're about to fight Drake? That makes no sense to me. Like, we shouldn't be using that. And why is Targamas also using his W for fun? When there might be a fight. Why are you using your W? You have flash, ulti, W. There might be a fight and you're about to contest river. Why are we using it? To get a shield from a Maokai E? From the full tank Maokai? Like, look at Maokai's items. He's barely gonna deal 2% of your HP. It's just, these small things actually really matter. And it's just a lot of mechanical misplay. Usually I'm not too fond of flaming mechanical misplays, but there are just way too many small, like, micro decisions here that is ruining the game. And now, I don't know why, but Upset is just blowing all his mana, all possible mana. He's always low mana the entire game, which is very odd. And here, imagine if we have Rumble ulti, and we have Rel W and ulti and flash and everything, which we do, but we used our W for fun to block a full tank Maokai sapling, who probably isn't even maxing E after. I don't know. There's these things. Okay. This happens. Alright, fine. Okay, so Upset is clearing the mid wave. Brother in Christ, like, why aren't we escorting our AD carry? Like, why is our AD carry walking this way alone while we're doing Drake? And why is there a pink there as well? Like, we have zero control. Like, he's running here and he has to blow his flash now because we're not escorting him. Like, either you fuck the mid wave, you don't care about it, and you go fully for Drake, but I think you should take the mid wave. Otherwise, the enemy team has opportunity to just take your mid tower. And you don't want that, right? But at least posture in a way that, hey, if you go on our AD carry, we will fuck you up. Like, why is Cabochard in Africa? Maybe he's looking for a flank, maybe not, but if we do have ultis in this case, like, none of this would happen, right? But it's like here as well. Flash W ulti, Rel, let's go, let's fight, they're going on your AD carry. Look, we're all in this together, you know? But like, make a decision. Everything just seems so desynced in their decision making. And yeah, they're gonna end up getting the dragon, but because of their decisions earlier, they're gonna lose the mid tower, and I don't even know if that's worth it. And now we get a fight, right? We win the fight, Rumble TP is behind them, it's a clean ace. Beautiful. Okay, how do we snowball off this? We're ahead now, right? We're decently ahead. Tristana is very strong. She murders K'Sante on side. I think Rumble even murders him as well once he gets the Void Staff. You have two winning sides. How are we using these prios to actually get control on the map? We're not, right? And now they're gonna look for a kill on K'Sante, but he does K'Sante things and gets out. Fine. That's fine. Bo is spacing. Hylissang does some psycho play. They actually don't end up killing him. You guys already remember this. I don't have much to review here. It's just Vitality playing extremely interesting. But here, Sakan plays really well. It gets double kill, or it gets a kill on the Ahri. Can't do the Nash because the new Nash is extremely tanky and Photon also has TP. But we do have Dragon in 30 seconds. How do we prepare for it? Are we playing for Dragon or are we playing topside? That's the question. Are we trading for Nash? How long is this replay, buddy? Look, I want to see how we open up here. Okay. I don't know who's calling it in game, but it's like you're smoking so much copium. You're like, bro, we can contest this Dragon, and then you just end up masturbating around the Dragon. Like, please. Just go into topside, clear their vision. Like, you have 0 vision on Nash. Go push top, like, get some sort of pressure in return. But this just comes from, like I said before, disagreements in calls and desynced, pretty much. Like, one guy saying, I don't want to contest Dragon, the other guy saying, I want to contest Dragon. And this is probably the most saddest top 10 anime betrayal moments I've ever seen in LEC. And here you can see, obviously, Targamas is going to tank this W, right? Or this ulti from Maokai. And I think his whole team is expecting that to happen. And they're all stacking up behind him. And then Blood, he just jumps last second. He's like, psych! You guys are fucked! The only thing I can see, and I can only assume this, that Targamas wanted to get hit by the ulti, but same time jump and time it perfectly. So he actually jumps away while also being tanking the ulti. But what's gonna happen instead is his entire team is just gonna get ulted instead. Like, they get a 3-man ulti with this Maokai ulti that came from, I don't know, it came from my fucking parents' house, and it was in Africa, and you saw it coming a mile away, and you still weren't able to prepare for it. So this is just like another mechanical error and desynchronization, and now they end up throwing the game. I think you guys have seen the rest of the game. I think it's pretty pointless to continue reviewing because, I mean, honestly, it's just like Vitality is randomly gonna fight them on bot side when they have Soul coming up, or... Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it here because I think the rest is irrelevant. It's more about how they use their leads and how they snowball and what their general game plan is. And I don't think there's anyone in particular that you can blame for this. I mean, yeah, we can look at the mechanics, right, and be like, hey, Saken messed up that fight around Dragon. Hey, Targamas didn't block the Maokai ulti. But really, the vibe I'm getting when I'm watching all these games from KC is just that they're not on the same page at all. Like, they have some sort of desync. Like, one guy saying he wants to go Drake, another guy saying go cross map, another guy saying this, and they just need to find a leader like, hey, you call the shots, we follow you to death. And everyone just commit to it. Because the way they're playing right now, it's not going to work. Like, League of Legends today is not about how well you play in lane. Of course, it is a big factor. But what it generally comes down to is which team is actually on the same page and doing the same thing together. And that is something that KC is going to have to fix, honestly. I don't know how. I don't think replacing anyone. I don't think bringing back Synchro for doing this shit. I don't think that changes anything. I think Bo is playing very well and he's playing very aggressive and his team is just not on the same page. And maybe, yeah, Bo did some like interplays, but overall, there's a bigger issue that stems from this. It's not just one player playing bad. Sure, they could improve mechanically, play some solo queue, or you play some practice tool, I don't know.